Hello there, how's it going? My name is Hocus Pocus and welcome to today's video. This one is going to be slightly different again, so this isn't a Let's Play episode as you can tell. And this is also not a tutorial. This is going to be an exploration into how easy it is to incorporate pistons into designs in Minecraft. So I made a video a while back where I used a piston in a wall design and I really like the way that it turned out, and a lot of you guys did as well in the comments. So today we're going to look at, as I say, how easy it will be to implement pistons into more than just wall designs and maybe ceiling designs, maybe different uses of them in wall designs, maybe ways you can use pistons to represent certain furniture items in the game. So as you guys may know, pistons have two states, on and off. At the moment it's in the off state. The piston is fully retracted and it is the size of a single block. If you give this piston a redstone signal, the head extends and now it is the size of two blocks. And of course, as you can see, this is the on state where, as I say, the head of the piston is expanded and pushed forward into the block in front of it. So without further ado, you guys, let's see what we can do with these pistons, have a little bit of exploration and see whether it's easy to implement pistons into design features in Minecraft. Okay guys, so for the first use of pistons, I'm going to go with one of the most simple and actually one of my favorite designs if you are looking to do interior building in the game. So let's just pretend that these stairs here are representing some seats, and possibly there are two seats either side of a table. If you want to go ahead and pop a redstone block in the ground and a piston on top of it, you can see that the piston head pushes out and almost perfectly represents a table that would fit in this scenario very well. So if you wanted to go a step further, you could even place a couple chairs down on the other two sides like so. And as I say, this is perfect for those of you who want to get your interior designs looking nice and slick without taking up too much space, because this is quite compact. As you can see, it just requires a 3 block width by 1 block area, and just one piston and two stairs, as well as a redstone source to power the piston. And again, you can take this a step further and you could do something like this. So you could have a couple chairs on that side, a couple chairs on that side, and let's go with a couple there as well. And then you could go ahead and pop 4 pistons in, and there you go, you've got an even larger table. Or you could take it even one step further if that's what you please. If you're making something like a banquet hall in a castle or something similar, you could come up with a design that is similar to this. So as you can see, it's a similar type table, except much larger. And all the way around, we've got these seats. So to do this, you simply pop down 2 trapdoors like so, just one above the other. And then you want to get a rail in that's facing in that direction, of course. So just attach another one to make it face in the correct direction. Flip the trapdoors up, pop the minecart in, then just crouch below. Pop the track out, and there you go. You've got yourself a nice chair. So actually, if you sit in one of these seats, you will see it's at an appropriate height to have a sort of conversation if you've got friends on a server or something like that. You could all sit around this table and actually be able to see each other quite nicely. Look at that. Perfect. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a while will recognize this wall design immediately. This is one I frequently like to use in the LP series, and there's a little plug for you. If you like Let's Plays of Minecraft, then be sure to search my channel for that. And we're going to see if implementing a few pistons here and there can improve this design, and who knows? If we find something we like, we might even try to carry it over to the Let's Play world and give it a shot over there. So one design I had in mind immediately was to do something like this. So we want to take out a cross pattern in the center and replace that gravel in a second. And we want to get 4 pistons in like so, and then we can go ahead with the gravel. And then this, I think, sets up a perfect sort of, it's like a holder for some lighting. So if you pop the lamp in the middle like so, and then give it a power source at the back, so just a redstone block on the back of it like this, I think that looks pretty damn cool. I don't know about you guys, but I quite like that. And that's something that I might want to try over in the LP world, as I say. And aside from that, I did have another idea before I go into sort of brainstorming and cutting the clip to come back to you guys. So one thing I wanted to try as well was to maybe break out the center block in the wooden pillars and just pop a piston in like this. So again, I quite like this. It doesn't look so bad, especially since the piston has sort of a cobblestone texture to it as well. So it's very similar to the cobblestone, just with that extra black dark border, which really makes it look cool and stand out. But one thing that maybe we could try is to switch out the dark oak wood with some stripped oak, I was thinking, because that's quite similar to the texture on the front of the piston, and it might help it just to blend in a bit more. There we go. So let's switch both of these out and just take a look at how that is going to make things different. And again, yeah, this works. I think the dark oak even works, but I quite like how the stripped oak works. So we could definitely try something like this in the LP world, just to have that piston in there as a little bit of extra design, you know. And it also kind of alleviates the need to have anything going on in the center, because it does give you that bit of differentiation. But all in all, I think the piston could totally be a feasible asset in the design of a wall. So let me try and think of a few more things, and I'll bring you guys back in to explore them. Here's another one that I think is totally feasible. However, there might be a different kind of use for this design, as I feel like this looks a bit more barricaded. So maybe you could use this as a kind of castle defense design or a village wall defense design. I think it has that sort of you know, that sort of defense look to it. I don't know why it sort of has these like these pillars that run throughout it, that kind of thing. But if you were to do something like this, take out the four corners like so, I think that this could be a feasible indoor wall design, especially if you maybe pulled these back an extra block and had it bang in the middle of a 7 wide wall like this. So let me just quickly convert the rest of this into the stone textures. Okay, there we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide now, and I think having that extra bit of width just allows you to have this center sort of feature and not make it look too cramped. So I was thinking as well that you could even take this a step further maybe and try something like this, having the pistons extended. I don't really know if that's going to be something again that looks all that great. And then from this position I can already see something else that you might want to try. So if we get ourselves another redstone lamp, let's grab that and then knock out the center block, pop that in there. You could even go ahead and just have a light fixture in between the two piston heads. Sort of looks like it's clamped in there. And again, you probably want to think about doing something like this actually bringing it into the middle like this, in between the two piston heads, and having it clamped directly between the pistons. And you know what? I didn't think it was going to be great, but that doesn't look so bad at all in my opinion. I mean, it's something that is a bit extravagant, it's a bit out there, but you could definitely make this work in a base, especially if you had this repeated over and over again. It's a little bit more out there than this kind of design, which is a lot more simple, a lot more tame. You know, it doesn't really stick out too much. It just gives you that extra bit of texture in there, whereas this one gives you that depth, the texture. It gives you a sort of mechanical feel to things because you got the piston extended, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much all I've got for the wall ideas, especially for these textures. So let me see if I can think of anything else that you can use the piston for, and of course I'll be right back with it. And on to floor designs. So I've got 3 floor designs in one here. This is just a use of the checkerboard pattern, which has been one of my favorites quite recently. Again, those of you who watch the LP series are probably going to recognize that immediately. But this time we've used a combination of strip logs and the pistons. So pistons are they contain a lot of colors, right? They contain the whites here, they contain the dark browns and the light browns, which makes them a difficult texture sometimes to incorporate in large numbers like this. So I don't really feel like this one works very well because the contrast is too great between the piston head and the stripped dark oak. However, the birch and the oak, the stripped birch and the stripped oak, birch here, oak here, if you weren't sure. These work a lot better in my opinion. I think it's because the color is a lot closer to the main color of the piston head, which is of course that light brown texture, which is in the brick type of pattern here. And as I say, it works well enough that you probably get away with it. However, I wouldn't probably veer towards the dark oak unless you like it, of course. I mean, it's going to be for it's not going to be for everybody, but someone out there might enjoy that. However, as I say, I think these two work a lot better just because the textures are a lot closer and there's not so much going on. So yeah, it could totally work as a checkerboard pattern if you were okay with having quite a lot going on the floor, because it will be quite busy. So I've came up with a different idea, and you might be wondering, Hocus, where are the pistons in this design? Well, this one is slightly different. So I'm going to demonstrate on this this mossy cobblestone here. So we used the textures from the floor in the ravine base of the LP series. Again, you recognize this from that series. And what we've done is we've just replaced all of the mossy cobblestone with pistons. And by doing this, going down, facing up, and placing the piston upside down, you can actually make use of that nice bordered cobblestone texture. And I think this is quite cool. I mean, it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to be something you're gonna have to be quite patient with, because it is difficult to get these in upside down, as I just showed, and this is in creative as well. So you have to remember that in survival it's gonna take ever so slightly longer. But I really do like this, having this cobblestone texture sort of dotted throughout Not too common, not as common as all the other textures, but dotted throughout. And then you've got a mixture of this. You've got the gravel, you've got the cobblestone stairs just to add a bit of depth. You've got the cracked stone brick, and finally the andesite just to cap off the design. But as I say, this one is one that I'm quite fond of, and something that I definitely be inclined to use if the opportunity ever arose. But you will have to be patient with laying this design down, because as I say, it's quite difficult to get these in upside down. And it would be nice if Mojang could actually implement a way to place blocks upside down a little bit more easily than digging down and looking up, you know. But one thing I will mention is, you just keep in mind that this is going to be quite an expensive floor design to use. Maybe this one as well, depending on how large a scale you're using it on. Just because pistons do cost 1 iron ingot and 1 redstone, so make sure that you have enough resources if you're going to be going ahead and doing this. I'm not going to lie, this one surprised me that it actually worked. So again, this is similar to the last ones in terms of this being part of a floor design. And let's just pretend you have this nice little sort of observatory area in your base, I guess. It sticks out and you can see all the windows. It's very nice and pretty, but you're thinking, oh, it's a little bit empty in here, right? So something that you can do, which, as I say, I was very surprised about. I didn't actually realize this was going to work. You can take out maybe one of the slabs here, pop down your redstone block, pop down your piston, and you've got this nice raised surface now. And if you're that fussy, you can go ahead, do something like that just to make sure that the wall is nice and consistent. And then, you know what, guys? You can actually add plant pots to the top of these, which, as I say, really surprised me. Then you can go ahead and pop a cactus in there, or any flower type that you wish. And you've got a nice installment in front of your window, which has a pretty plant in it. And there you go. Look from the outside as well. You can see in. Looks very cool. And you can position these anywhere throughout the room, anywhere throughout the floor. So another place you might want to put this, if you don't like having it by the window, for example. Let me just seal this up quickly. Let's just do that. And we also want to replace the glass to make things look the way they were. You can go ahead and actually put this right bang in the center of the room. So just an installment in the middle of the room, maybe. It's kind of like a small table again. Similar to what we had going on here, except this time you're using it more as a storage place or a holding place for a feature to go in, a design feature like a plant pot with a cactus in. Or as I say, any plant choice that you may make, you can put in the plant pot there, and just it works very well. So again, let's take a look from outside. Looking in, you can see this nice table in the middle, has the plant pot on top with the cactus, and as I say, I'm very surprised this one worked, but this is a very good use of the piston in my opinion. Back onto the theme of this small area that we built here, I had another idea in terms of a lighting solution with the piston here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the back and we're going to replace this top window here. We're going to pop a redstone block just in behind it like so, and then use the redstone block to power a piston, which is going to be facing into the room. And then atop the piston, or I guess not atop the piston, but connecting to the piston, we're going to have a trapdoor like so. And then from the trapdoor, we can hang a lantern. So this one does veer into the room ever so slightly. So you may want to think a little bit differently about how you do this. For example, we could actually change this and go with the top block up here. That might be more suitable for this design choice. So if we come to the top and place the redstone block in, come back into the room and do something like this. And of course, remove this lantern. We wouldn't have that one if we were doing this. So then we could do something like that. And I wonder what happens if you were to flip the trapdoor up. Okay, it just breaks the lantern. So that's to be expected. Can we attach lanterns to the piston itself? No, we cannot. But I think that's quite cool, especially if you had a larger room, right? So you have these pistons protruding into the room using a trapdoor to hang a lantern. I think that could work. And as I say, I would only attempt this in larger rooms. It doesn't really work too well in this small room, but I think I could see this being quite a nice feature in a larger room. So there's another one for you if you are looking for lighting solutions involving pistons. And you can attach any block here. You could even go with a slab if you wanted to. So let's grab ourselves a slab here. You can pop a slab in there, look, and do something similar. And I mean, you could even, if you wanted to, you could even do something like this. So completely remove the redstone block, have the piston retracted, and you could just attach the lantern to it like this. I mean, that isn't very much different though, because you could use any block in replacement for the piston. So having it extended is of course ideal in the uniqueness of what a piston can do. I've got a couple more floor designs for you guys. These just popped into my head as I was playing around here. So this one's more of a you've got this fixture, right? The 4 pistons with the light in between, and it's kind of like copying and pasting it amongst different floor designs. So in this one, we've got the checkerboard pattern, and this is completed just by having the 4 pistons like this, a redstone block, and then you can just pop a lamp in here, a redstone lamp. And of course, the redstone block can be interchanged for something like a redstone torch, which is much cheaper, but I just prefer to use the redstone blocks. It's a bit easier for me. So this is the first one. As I say, this is the checkerboard pattern using dark oak and spruce, both stripped. And then in amongst it, we've got these nice light fixtures just to light the room up, light the floor up. And you have to keep in mind as well, guys, that these can be used for ceiling designs, not only for floor design. So you can as easily transfer this up to the ceiling and have something similar up there if that is what you are attempting to do. And then over here, we've got another design, which again is very simple. It's just a mixture of cobblestone, andesite, and stone bricks. And in between it all, we've got these nice fixtures again with the 4 pistons and the lamp in between. So I've got one more thing I want to show you guys, but I was just going to say that if this is something that you guys like to watch, then I could turn this into a mini series where we explore different blocks each episode and ways that you can implement them into builds. And if you guys have any suggestions about blocks that you might want to see me do this with, then just let me know down below and I'm sure I could figure something out. But as I say, I've got one more thing I want to show you guys. I've got quite a bit of an idea about how you could use these pistons to create lighting for an outdoor path. And then once we've done that, we'll think about wrapping up today's video. Alright guys, so for the last design use for the pistons for this video, I am going to be utilizing the path that we've used this in the LP series once again, so you might recognize this. It's from Oasis and also from just outside of our base. And I figured that we could use the pistons to help light the path up. So what we'll do is we'll go time set night just to make sure that it's dark. Okay, that's not as dark as I wanted it to be, but it's dark enough, right, to see the light in effect. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pop a few pistons along the pathway here, so you can do maybe one there. And we're going to have them extended like this, and then maybe we could have one more over here. And you don't want these to be too common, you know, you want them just to be ever so frequently to make sure that the path gets a suitable amount of light and not too much. So, and then what you want to do on top of this is grab yourselves a lantern maybe, or any type of light block, and you can just pop those on top like so. So you could maintain it like this, keep it the same, or you could even try and do something like this maybe. Add a few trapdoors around the side to enclose it, and then you've got this type of thing going on. And then again, if you wanted to change it up even more, you could do something like this. So let's grab that, push it back 1 block and do this. And then again, you want the lantern on top, and you could just go ahead and place trapdoors all the way around like so. And there you've got this sort of off the beaten track type thing, you know, it's like a marker type thing. Again though, this kind of does void the whole idea of having a piston there, because if you're going to do this, you could just have the piston above ground with no extension. But I mean, it's totally up to you. You can take this in any direction that you want. I was just trying to sort of brainstorm ideas about how you could use this to light up pathways. Anyway, you guys, that is the last idea for this video, so I'm going to wrap things up in just a second. Alright then, you guys, welcome back to the video for the very last time for today. I do hope that this was some help to you and maybe gave you a little bit of inspiration around pistons and their uses outside of redstone contraptions, because they definitely can be used as a design device. You know, they're not just basic redstone contraption mechanism type things. They can be used to beautify a base in a number of ways, and I hope I've highlighted a few of them here for you today. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like down below. That'll be much appreciated. As I said, if you want to see more of this, then please do drop a comment down below, just recommending that I carry this on. We could make it into a small series even, and then also you could suggest certain block types that you might want to see me you know, implement into designs. So you could suggest maybe the trapdoors, you could suggest I don't know, anything really, any block in the game that you maybe want to see used in designs, even if it's just a regular block like andesite, for example. You could recommend that I try and make a few designs with that, just to give you guys some inspiration. But as I say, just let me know down in the comment section below. That'd be much appreciated. And finally, if you are new around here or haven't subscribed yet, then be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned to this series and any other videos I do decide. Wow, I say this series, well, it's not a series yet officially, but it might be. To stay tuned to this type of video and any other Minecraft videos and other similar games I post to the channel. So once again, you guys, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come to my channel to watch my video. It is much appreciated. I'm very grateful to have you here, and all the support so far has been amazing. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye for now.